Live. Okay. Hello, humans, my fellow humans. They just wanted to go over something with you guys. Yeah, I'm gonna probably get a little bit political on this because things are heating up, starting to heat up. We know the midterm elections are fast and furious approaching. So, this needs to be said. And there's more and more things coming out around this issue. And what I'm going to talk about is gender affirming care, GAC. So, again, I want everybody to use their brains on this. It's like everything else, educate yourself. The one thing that separates us from the rest of the animal kingdom is the ability to use our brains to think and to reason and not just blindly be lemmings jumping off of a cliff because someone says so. So, gender affirming care, what people want you to believe is it's only transgender people and gender affirming care. Oh my God, they want to change themselves and put them up in surgery. That's all it is. Gender affirming care is surgery. You have to have surgery as gender affirming care, and they're going to be doing this to children. And stop, take a breath, relax. Okay, again, education. What is gender affirming care? Definition. Definition. Gender affirming care. Look it up in Google. Hey Siri, whatever you want to do. I don't care. Gender affirming care. Now I got some things on the side here I'm going to be reading. So, gender affirming care. It refers to the medical and social support services that aim to align a person's physical and social characteristics with their gender identity. A person's physical and social characteristics. GAC is based on the principle that a person's gender identity is a fundamental aspect of their being, and that affirming their gender can significantly improve their well being and health. Now, what does this mean, medical and social support services? Again, the administration, all of these leaders want you to believe that it's surgery, it's cutting things off, and it's mutilations and everything. Well, no, it's services. As I said, if you've watched some of my other videos, you know that there's different transitions: social transition, medical transition. So gender affirming care encompasses all of that. From the social side, yes, change of name, pronoun usage, changing clothing, appearance, makeup, letting your hair grow, things like that. Social, yes, and there's medical transition, HRT, hormone replacement therapy, surgeries for trans women. You're talking about facial feminization surgery, top surgery, breast augmentation, body contouring. Um, Bottom surgery, the surgery, GRS, gender reassignment surgery. For trans men, you're also talking about mastectomy. That's their top surgery to have them taken off. Okay, because men don't have double D boobs. So, this is part of the medical aspect, but then there's also the mental health support is part of gender affirming care. You're just going to a therapist. Now, a lot of the legislation that's going on out there, especially the executive orders, are geared towards minors. Okay, so you can't do stuff to minors and women. Okay, because like Executive Order 14187 is protecting children from chemical and surgical mutilation. Now that sounds like, oh my God, kids are being mutilated. Yes, we have to do everything we can to protect our children. Okay, now this ends funding for providers that offer gender affirming care. Then there's also Executive Order 14168, which is defending women from gender ideology extremism and restoring biological truth to the federal government. Okay, so this basically focuses on and hyper focuses on the usage of biological sex, male and female, XXXY chromosomes, over gender identity. So XXXY. And again, you've watched some of my other videos. I did do a video all about that. There's aneuploids, there's trisomies, all chromosomal variations. There's 46.XX and 46.XY. There's also 47.XYY, 47.XYX. There's 48.XXYY, XYZ. There's so many variations, chromosomal variations, that you just cannot dumb it down to male and female, X, Y, and XX, and that's it. You can't. And this is high school biology. High school biology. Okay, so things that we have to keep in mind. And I want to put this out to all the ladies defending women. Okay, ladies, you need to be protected. Do you need to be protected? And yes, again, you watch some of my videos, you know my faith. I was brought up Jewish. Um, However, I do believe, in Jesus, as I am Christian, like a Messianic Jew. Do believe in Jesus and Christianity, so I am a Christian. I've done some Bible studies, things like that. Um, so again, the administration, the legislators, our leaders say from a Christian perspective, women, you're a damsel in distress. You need to be protected. You need to be defended. It's up to the men to defend you. You know, is that true? What's the definition of a woman according to Proverbs? To be a Proverbs woman, you're strong. Even Paul, the Apostle Paul, wrote multiple times about the strength of women. He praised the women apostles. He praised the women that were disciples that were spreading the word. He praised them and their strength. And I mean, John Eldridge, a great Christian author, Waking the Dead, The Sacred Romance, Walking with God. He also wrote another book called Captivating. Captivating. You ladies, this is from a Christian author, that you're not a damsel in distress, that women are spiritual warriors. You're spiritual warriors, that you are both fierce, you have a backbone of steel, and you're also tender with a merciful heart. So are you the damsel in distress that needs to be defended? I kind of hope not. Okay, women, you are strong, so strong. You don't need to be defended. Stand up and think about things. Now, again, let's get to the next level about where things go with this gender affirming care. Now that you know that gender affirming care is not just transgender, okay? It's not just transgender. Medical, HRT, surgeries, hormone replacement therapy. Women, ladies, okay, this is, remember the definition, affirming your gender. The aspect of their being, and that affirming the gender, okay, that a person's gender identity, and affirming that. That's a definition, part of the definition of gender affirming care. So, you know what? I want to have a cute little, nice little nose. Ooh, have to do a facelift and pull back. I need, to look nice, and especially, the girls. The girls need to be lifted up. The second, they need to be lifted up a little bit. Make me feel sensuous and make me feel more feminine. And when you get to a certain age and you start going through menopause, doctor gives you estrogen, hormone replacement therapy. So cisgender women go through gender affirming care. Guys, I'm not leaving you out. What about you guys? You get a little bit balding up on top. So where do you go? Bosley Hair Club for Men. Okay, let's put little plugs in there. Let's do your hairline. And it stays and everything. That's gender affirming care. That's a medical procedure. Rogaine, put stuff on to let your hair grow. That's gender affirming care. Okay, what about testosterone levels? So men, as you get older, testosterone levels drop. Oh, let's not even talk about prescription. Watch TV. Watch TV. I don't want to say the name of it, but there are testosterone supplements. You could walk into your drugstore, walk into your Target, whatever, and are right there on the shelf. Testosterone supplement. Make you feel more virile and strengthen and tighten yourself up. And what's their tagline? And feel like it too. Okay, that's gender-affirming care. So gender-affirming care is not just transgender. Gender-affirming care is everyone goes through gender-affirming care. Everyone. I mean, come on. You look at the pictures of Elon Musk. He had bald head and his slack jaw, and he had cosmetic surgery here to tighten up his jaw and hair. That's gender-affirming care. Gender-affirming care is everybody. But again, our leaders want you to focus on, don't think about everything else, focus on transgender people because transgender people are the worst. Transgender. That's what they want you to focus on. That's what they want you to focus on. Because of that, according to the AAMC, the Association of American Medical Colleges, so over 70 medical colleges, because now remember, gender affirming care, according to our leaders, and even the leader of HHS, Health and Human Services, that, Mr. Brainworm guy who says that, this is all fake science. It's all fake science. Yeah, no, it's not real. It's all fake science, right? 23 states have banned or severely limited gender affirming care for minors. And you're talking about, okay, yeah, minors, I get it. But what if the parent is there and the parent is saying, yeah, let's do this. The parent is giving consent. Example, Idaho. Remember, gender affirming care is not just medical, it's also mental health. So let's say you live in Idaho and your child, who's a minor, classified under the age of 19, is a minor who has these feelings and don't know exactly what. I'm kind of thinking this or that. So as a parent, a kind, loving parent, you say, you know what, let's go to a therapist together. We'll do it as a family. I'm giving consent. Yes, we need to, I love you, and we need to know exactly what's going on because I want you to be happy. Call in Idaho, forget it. No therapist is going to see you because it's a felony. And that therapist or even that doctor that provides any gender affirming care could face up to 10 years in prison. Okay, forget about Florida. Okay, this is just another example. I mean, Florida and Texas, we know those guys are off the rails. Okay, HRC has black marks through them, X's through them. They are considered as no travel zones for the LGBT community. Florida, even if a parent is giving consent for a minor, for their child to do any kind of gender affirming care, even though they classify as sexual mutilation or mutilation of the reproductive organs leading to sterilization and any other kind of gender affirming care, that parent can now be brought up on charges of child abuse and the state can take full custody of that child. The state can take the child away from their parents. 23 states have laws that are similar to this for gender affirming care. Now, I know everybody's going like, oh my God. Good news. Okay, good news is that so far there's just about 30 different medical groups that recognize the necessity of gender affirming care. And some of those groups, the Academy of Pediatrics, the Academy of Nursing, the American College of Physicians, the American Medical Association, the American Heart Association, the American Psychiatric Association, the Endocrine Society, the World Medical Association, of course, WPATH, the World Professional Association for Transgender Health, as well as 20 plus other medical groups recognize the necessity of gender-affirming care. So again, our leaders say this is all fake science. This is all fake stuff. Especially, like I said, brainworm guy. This is fake. It's all fake stuff. It's not real. Gender-affirming care. Well, 30 different medical groups that have God knows how many years, decades, centuries of training and research and everything, they kind of think a little bit differently than you do. Okay. And then with all of this comes up, well, okay, if it's all well and good and all that stuff, how come so many people regret it? So many people regret having the care. Well, according to the American Journal of Surgery, they did a study, patient regret after surgery. This was done August of 2024. Okay, they found that breast reconstruction, not even augmentation, breast reconstruction, 47% of the people that have breast reconstruction regret the surgery. Breast augmentation, anywhere from 5 to 9% regret having the surgery. Body contouring, oh yeah, my waist is a little bit too much, so let's contour the body, take some of the fat out of there, put it around the hips, make a little bit better shape. Body contouring, between 11 to 33% regret having that surgery. Bariatric surgery, for people that are overweight and they have the bariatric surgery to lose weight, 19% regret having that surgery. Gender-affirming surgeries, how many people regret that? 1%. 1% regret it. And I will tell you from my personal experience of doing my support group and my advocacy that I have met a handful of people that regret going through and want to detransition. And talking to them, find out that, well, why do they want to detransition? Because when they first started their transition, they did not follow the standard of care. Again, what did I say in one of my other videos? And in order to start, you have to see a therapist. And usually, the WPATH standard of care says that you should have a therapist should be seeing the regular care of a therapist for at least a year, and that therapist has to sign a letter approving the start of medical transitioning, which is the hormone therapy. And you should be on hormone therapies for at least 2 years, because that's how long it takes for the hormones to make any adjustments in the body. 2 years then after that to do any surgeries. These people that wanted to detransition, that said, oh, I never should have done this, they never went through that process. Okay, so again, how many people regret having the surgeries? 1%. 1%. Okay, so that's a little bit about GAC, about gender-affirming care. Again, I'm sure you're going to hear a lot more of this, because everybody in the news is saying, how I'm the bad guy. Transgender, I'm the bad guy. You got to watch out for me. I am the one, just like the USDA website says that, all the SNAP benefits that are being taken away and all of these children that are going to go hungry are because the Democrats want to give transgender people health care. And they want to continue health care for illegals, illegal people that are here. Well, number one, illegal people that are here illegally do not get federal anything. That's the law. And number two, I'm sorry, children are not going hungry, are not getting their food stamps because of me, but that's what they want you to believe. So again, here's some education for you. Okay, so some things for you to think about. And just remember, no matter what, all of this stuff is happening. Educate yourself, understand what's going on. Hit me up, DM me, reply back in comments, anything else that you want to know, anything that you want to talk about. Absolutely. Um, and you know what? There's always a silver lining, and even in the darkest storm, things will get better. So, what do? We always live life and wear life gloriously. Wear it gloriously. Because up until the very end, it's what we make it. So keep that in mind. Bye.